Hey, I've got some questions for you today that are going to help you stick to positive habits. This is going to be all about setting yourself up for success with your goals by really thinking about what's actually going to get in your way and how you can combat those things when they happen. So we've all got positive habits that we want to stick to. It can be exercise related, health, fitness, creative, career, anything like that. So start first off by just kind of thinking of a positive habit or more that is really important to you to achieve in your future. First question, have your goal in mind and ask yourself, what is your why? Think really deep and meaningful about this one. What is your purpose for wanting to achieve this goal? If you're going to stick to this goal, it needs to be something good. Like it needs to be a why that's really meaningful to you. If your why for wanting to exercise daily is because you've heard it's good for you, but you're not really sure, that's probably not going to stick so much when you wake up in the morning and you want to sleep in and you told yourself you're going to exercise. You're just not going to do it. If you have a stronger why that's like, I want to be healthier later in life because I don't want to have disease. I want to improve my physical body and the confidence that I have as a result of that. I have asthma and I know that working out helps me, or anxiety or depression or anything like that. Those are really strong whys, so that when you face the obstacles, which we're going to talk about after, you kind of are able to come back to that why and really push forward. By the way, you can write these things down. It's super helpful to kind of just have a page to refer back to. Once you've found out what your big why is for whatever goal you're working on, give yourself little notes about ways that you can remind yourself of that why for those times when it seems kind of far away. So you're going to go through ups and downs with how motivated you feel working on each of your goals, and it helps to kind of figure out a way to recreate those moments when you're just like super powering forward. There's multiple ways that you can remind yourself of what your why is. You can kind of use videos. So if it's a creative goal that you have, watching videos of people that are doing the same thing as you and succeeding with consistency is going to kind of reset you a little bit. It can be if you're trying to get off sugar, refreshing your brain with information online about why sugar is not the best for you. If it's exercise, following social media, people on social media who are succeeding in these goals and give you that kind of boost to want to keep going. All of those can be good ways to remind yourself of your why. You can also write it out, like make yourself a poster or a reminder, put it in your phone, on your phone background even, of what your why is. Visual reminders are really good. So having something to look at, like say you have your why written out on a piece of paper on the back of your door, so that when you get up to exercise in the morning and you want to just crawl back into bed, you can look at it and see it and be reminded right away of why you're doing it. Okay, so the next question is, what obstacles are going to get in the way of you succeeding at this goal? These can be in a variety of categories. Is it fear? Is it distractions? Is it failure in the past, making you think that you're bound to fail in the future? What negative mindsets are getting in the way? Negative emotions? Is it a lack of support around you? Really think about what's going on in your mind when you've failed at this goal in the past, if it's one you failed at before, like making weekly videos, for example. Fear of what other people think might get in the way, fear of them sucking, fear of coming off stupid. Those are some fears that would get in the way. Distractions as well, in the form of social media, Netflix. It's so much easier to just sit and watch Netflix all day than to sit down and plan and make a video. If this is a goal that you haven't set to in the past, also think ahead to what you think might come up for you in the future. Do you know that you're a particularly lazy person and you know you're just not going to feel like it every day? do you know that you are a perfectionist? So you're going to want everything you create to be perfect, and that's going to stop you from actually finishing it and releasing it at all. Really think about all the different obstacles that can get in your way, externally and internally, in your mind, emotions, thought processes, all of that. Okay, the last question is, what are you going to do to react to these obstacles? If you've already got a piece of paper out or a page in your journal, under your why that you've written for this goal, write out those obstacles, and then beside those obstacles, write out what you're going to do when they show up. Do you have a list of activities that you can do that kind of remotivate you and re-inspire you? I have a previous video on making a list sort of like that. I'll link it below. What thoughts can you flip from negative to positive? What mindsets can you change in regards to how you think about yourself and your ability to accomplish this goal? I'm going to use making weekly videos as an example here, or creating in any sense. So if you want to create something and you want to consistently share it with the world or just the people around you, your why could be that you just want to be creative, you want to be consistent, and you want to put your work out into the world because it could benefit someone. Now, when you think about what obstacles might come up or get in your way, they could be things like low energy and not feeling like creating that day, general laziness, self-doubt, self-consciousness about how your creation is going to be received or how people are going to think of you, if it's what people are going to think of you, specifically if you're making a video. It could be distractions like social media and Netflix. Then you need to think about, for each one of those obstacles, what are you going to do as a reaction to it? So low energy, you might want to plan ahead a day that you're going to create and share a video every week so that you can plan ahead by eating really well and sleeping really well, maybe exercising that day and the day before. You might counteract the feelings of self-doubt by proving yourself wrong, by just doing it and showing yourself that even if it's not perfect, it's done and I'm doing it and I'm sharing it with the world. When you're self-conscious, you can remind yourself of the reasons why creating and sharing your work with the purpose that it might benefit someone is so much more important than your own self-doubt or your self-consciousness about what other people are going to think of you. You could also plan ahead and have topics ready to go to make a video or to write about or whatever it is you're creating, so that when you do have those bad days where you're just feeling kind of down and you're not in the mood to plan and prep a video, you've got stuff there ready to go. You can remind yourself that even if nothing comes of it, the whole point is just to express your creativity, show yourself that you're capable of being consistent and sharing something just to be vulnerable and put yourself out to the world. So for social media, set yourself certain times of the day only when you can check it, or have a particular time of day where you just set aside to work on your creations and you're not looking at your phone. Tell people ahead of time you won't be looking at your phone so that you can just focus on your creating. If you know that working with a particular friend means that you're not going to get anything done because you just talk the whole time, which is great, but isn't good for your productivity, then maybe set aside a time to hang out with them, just solo hanging out, not working on your projects together. So yeah, those are 3 questions to ask yourself when you set out to stick to a positive habit. Start by writing down your why, then put out what your obstacles are going to be, and for each obstacle, go into what you're going to do to react to them in a positive way so that you stay on track. There's so many different types of obstacles that can come up, and they're all different for each one of us. So really individualize your list to you. You know yourself, you know how your mental states work and how you react to failure and to distractions and all of those things. So really personalize this. This awareness before you set out on a goal is really important, rather than just going in, starting exercising, and then wondering why a week later you haven't stuck to it. By going in, knowing your why, knowing what's going to come up for you and what you're going to do when it does, you're going to feel so much more powerful and able to actually get it done. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Oh, I just went out of focus.